Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about Bitcoin. Did it already test the 2017 all-time high? If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Remember to check out the premium list, which you can find a link to in the description below as well. Now, this is a bit of a dubious train of thought, so I would recommend you buckle up and enjoy the ride for a little bit. The idea, the implication is, well, Bitcoin hit approximately $20,000 in 2017. And then it retraced to $3,100, and then since then we've gone on a crazy journey through, up to 14K, back down to 3,800, and then all the way up to 64K, and right now we're sitting at a more modest $33,000. Now, the interesting thing is, can Bitcoin go back and test the prior all-time high? And obviously, there's all sorts of speculation as to whether that can happen. It's certainly a possibility. I think that by saying things like something can't happen or something definitively will happen, you're sort of not being fair to the market and recognizing that anything can happen. What I'm here to show today is, by one metric, we already did test it, by one metric. Now, what is that metric? Well, remember, since March of 2020, the money supply of the US dollar has just gone through the roof. Okay, if you're not sure what I'm talking about, just look at this. Look at this. If you go all the way back to, say, 1996, the money supply was increasing at a fairly constant rate. Okay, you could even measure the slope of this if you wanted. But what happened? In March of 2020, everything changed, right? Everything changed. And we started moving up a lot quicker, okay? So, for instance, if we were to take a measured move, let's say from January of 2017 and let's go to January of 2018, okay? We would be looking at around a 5% increase in the money supply from those 12 months. If we were to go, say, from March of 2020 to March of 2021, we would be looking at closer to a 26% increase in M2. Okay, so clearly there's been a difference, right? Clearly something has changed to basically make the waters a little bit more murky, make things a little bit more complicated. Now, what's interesting is, well, what if you take the price of Bitcoin, so we're going to take the price of Bitcoin in US dollars, okay, and then we're going to divide it by M2. Could give some interesting insight, right? I mean, is it something you should walk down to the bank and take it there and cash it in? Probably not. Is it something worth considering? I think so. Here's the price of Bitcoin divided by the money supply M2. What do you notice? What do you notice? Well, it doesn't look like we're that far away from the prior all-time high when measured this way, okay? Now, when you take the price of Bitcoin and divide it by the money supply, you'll see that back in 2017, we in fact went to a valuation of approximately 1.42. And if you scroll over and you keep going, look, by this metric, which is, again, somewhat of a dubious metric, I will contend, by this metric, we already tested it. Now, is that me saying, hey guys, look, we went back to 20K, like we always said was a concrete possibility? No, right? I mean, that has not happened. Bitcoin is not at 20K right now. There's certainly a chance we don't see 20K. I would say there's, the probability of stuff like that, I think, is higher than people think it is. What I think some people should be careful about is, there's a lot of people, in the cryptoverse that like to say things like, hey, this is my price target, and then they give some, ridiculous price target, like $3,000 or something. But then on the flip side, when things are bullish, everyone's given these $300,000 price targets. Remember, no one really knows, right? No one really knows exactly what's going to happen. We have our models. We try to anticipate, overarching market trends. But does anyone know exactly what price we're going to go to before it reverses? No. Does anyone know exactly what price we're going to go up to before it reverses? No. Obviously, I use the risk metrics. That's part of the premium list. Remember, intothecryptoverse.com to navigate the market. But other than that, other than just simply just sticking to the math and navigating the market that way, no one exactly knows when things are going to turn around. I would say preparing for the downside risk is essential in being successful at crypto. But if you only ever follow perma bulls that tell you, it only ever goes up, and then when it drops, say 70 or 90, 70 to 90%, they just start posting inspirational quotes. You're probably not doing yourself any favors. But at the same time, if you only ever follow perma bears that just say Bitcoin's going to zero, you're probably not doing yourself any favors either. Over the macro scale, what do we know? Over the macro scale, Bitcoin generally trends up. Okay, it generally trends up. And there's periods where we can have these bear markets. Sometimes they're long bear markets. Sometimes they can be brief bear markets. As I said before, my thinking is that we are in for a 3 to 6 month window, at the very least, where the price action is somewhat bearish. Okay, and this is what I said a couple months ago, back in May, when we had our first weekly close below the 20-week SMA, our bull market support band, which is also the 21-week EMA as well. I said, hey guys, a lot of people don't like to consider the downside risk. They will only ever tell you that it's going to go up. But it's important to consider the downside risk. And whether you want to call it bearish, whether you want to call it consolidation, whether you want to call it a bear market within a bull market, whatever you want to call it, right? It's the prices have been generally going down over the last few months, okay? And I think this is what's important to realize is that, hey guys, the market is bearish right now, and I would rather call it what it is and say the market is bearish rather than have to constantly defend why a 50 to 60% pullback is still technically a bull market, okay? My thinking is that let's call it what it is, let's navigate the bearish times, and then we'll come out the other side. Remember, the real money is made when things are bearish, right? This is when the real money is made, is when prices are going down. Everyone's like, the people that FOMO'd in up here are getting really scared. And the prices come down a bit. So I think that's when the real money is made. The real money is not made FOMOing in at 50K, at 60K once it's already up over an order of magnitude in about a year. That's not where the real money is made. You can make money at that stage, but that's not where the real money is made. The real money is made when things are bearish, okay? So I thought this was an interesting metric to look at, right? The money supply has been going up. If you look at what Bitcoin has done, during this pullback, it actually tested the prior all-time high already, okay? It already tested it. And why that's interesting is because, well, if you look at it on this scale, we're nowhere close to it, right? We'd have to drop a lot more to get there. From the current prices, Bitcoin would have to drop about 39% to get back to the prior all-time high. It goes to show you just how much more money has been added. Okay, it goes to show you just how quickly M2 has been going up. For it to reflect the fact that Bitcoin has tested the prior all-time high, if you take into account the change in the money supply. If you guys like the content, make sure you subscribe to the channel, give the video a thumbs up, and also check out the Telegram channel, which you can find a link to in the description below. Remember to check out the premium list at intothecryptoverse.com. We also do have t-shirts if you're looking to get a t-shirt. Make sure you guys check that out as well at store.intothecryptoverse.com. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure you subscribe, click the bell icon to turn on your notifications, and I will see you next time. Bye.